Have you ever wondered what a person's true legacy is? Is it the money they leave behind, or the kindness they inspire in others? Today's story is about Clara, a young hospice caregiver with a heart full of compassion. For 2 years, she cared for a lonely, wealthy man named Arthur Gable, becoming the family he never had. But when he passes away, his estranged daughter, Isabelle, suddenly appears. She sees Clara not as a caregiver, but as a predator who stole her father and her inheritance. What happens when they all meet in the lawyer's office will change everything. Before we continue the story, we'd love to know where you are watching from. Please let us know in the comments so we can bring more stories that resonate with you. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss our upcoming stories. Now, let's dive into the story. Clara wasn't just a caregiver, she was a keeper of stories. For 2 years, her world revolved around the grand, quiet house of Mr. Arthur Gable. She would arrive every morning, her simple tote bag a stark contrast to the mansion's towering oak doors. Inside, the air smelled of old books and lemon polish, and in his favorite armchair, by a large window overlooking the garden, would be Arthur. He was 86 years old, with eyes that had seen the world but now held a deep, lingering loneliness. His wealth had built walls around him, and his only child, Isabelle, was a busy, important woman who lived 1,000 miles away. Her calls were short, her visits even shorter. Once a year, for a few hours, so Clara became his family. She didn't just give him his medicine or help him with his meals. She listened. He told her stories of his late wife, Eleanor, and how they used to dance in the living room. Clara would smile and say, "She sounds wonderful, Arthur." They played chess every afternoon. Arthur would cheat, just a little, moving a piece when he thought she wasn't looking. Clara always pretended not to notice. It made him laugh, a sound that was rare and precious. She learned that he loved old black and white movies, the taste of strawberry ice cream, and the feeling of the sun on his face. She wasn't paid to read him poetry, but she did. She wasn't paid to sit with him in silence when he was too tired to talk, but she stayed. To Clara, he wasn't just a client, he was a friend. He was the grandfather she never had. Then one Tuesday, Arthur passed away peacefully in his sleep. Clara was the one who found him. She held his hand, now cold, and whispered a quiet goodbye. Her heart felt heavy, not with the burden of her job ending, but with the genuine sorrow of losing someone she loved. The funeral was small. Clara sat in the back row. In the front row was Isabelle, a woman Clara had only met twice. Isabelle was tall, dressed in a sharp black suit that probably cost more than Clara's car. Her face was a mask of cold formality. She didn't cry. She just stood there as if attending a business meeting. After the service, Isabelle approached Clara. Her heels clicked loudly on the stone floor. "You're the caregiver, right?" Isabelle asked, her voice clipped and distant. "Yes. I'm Clara. I'm so sorry for your loss," Clara said softly. Isabelle gave a slight nod, her eyes scanning Clara from head to toe. It was a look that made Clara feel small, insignificant. "Our lawyer, Mr. Harrison, will be in touch. The reading of the will is on Friday. You are required to be there." Clara was confused. "Me? Why would I need to be there?" A small, bitter smile touched Isabelle's lips. "I have no idea, but please, just be there. Let's get this over with." And with that, she turned and walked away, her phone already pressed to her ear. Friday arrived with a cold, gray sky. Clara felt a knot of anxiety in her stomach as she walked into the law office of Harrison and Associates. The office was just like Arthur's house, filled with dark wood, leather chairs, and a heavy silence. Isabelle was already there, sitting perfectly straight in a large chair, tapping impatiently on her phone. She looked up when Clara entered, her expression one of pure annoyance. Mr. Harrison, a kind-faced man in his 60s with silver hair, stood up to greet Clara. "Clara, thank you for coming, Please, have a seat. Clara sat down, feeling completely out of place. The room was thick with tension. Isabelle put her phone away and looked directly at Mr. Harrison. Can we please begin? I have a flight to catch. Mr. Harrison nodded. He sat behind his large desk and put on his glasses. As you know, we are here for the reading of Arthur Gable's last will and testament. He started to read through the legal language, but Isabelle quickly grew impatient. James, she interrupted, calling the lawyer by his first name. Let's cut to the chase. The house, the stocks, the accounts, it all comes to me, correct? I'm his only child. Mr. Harrison looked at her over his glasses. Well, Isabelle, your father did make some specific changes to his will in the last year. Isabelle's eyes narrowed. She slowly turned her head to look at Clara. It was a look of pure venom. I knew it, she hissed, her voice low and dangerous. I knew there was something wrong with you. Clara's heart pounded in her chest. What? I don't understand. Isabelle stood up, her composure finally breaking. Oh, please, don't play innocent with me. For 2 years, you were alone with my father. A lonely, vulnerable old man. You saw your chance, didn't you? A little extra kindness, a few sweet words. You probably told him exactly what he wanted to hear. She took a step toward Clara, her voice getting louder. Tell me, how much did he give you? How much of my money did you convince him to sign over to you? You are a predator, a manipulator, a nobody who saw a chance to get rich, and you took it. Tears welled up in Clara's eyes, but she refused to let them fall. No, she whispered, her voice shaking. That's not true. I cared for your father. I truly cared. Cared? Isabelle let out a cold, sharp laugh. You call that caring? I call it a performance, and it seems you're about to get your payday. She turned back to Mr. Harrison. I will fight this. I will take her to court, and I will prove that she manipulated my father. She will not see a single penny of what is rightfully mine. Throughout the outburst, Mr. Harrison remained silent. Now he calmly held up a hand. Isabelle, please. Sit down. His voice was so firm, so full of authority that Isabelle stopped. She looked at him, surprised, and slowly sat back in her chair. There is nothing to fight, Mr. Harrison said quietly, because Arthur knew you would react this way. That is why he did not write a traditional will. Instead, he recorded. 1. He picked up a remote from his desk and pointed it at a flat-screen television on the wall that Clara hadn't even noticed. He pressed a button. The screen flickered to life. And there he was, Arthur, sitting in his favorite armchair by the window. He looked frail, but his eyes were clear. He smiled, a gentle, sad smile. Hello, Isabelle, he said, his voice soft but clear on the recording. If you are watching this, it means I'm gone. He paused, taking a breath. I imagine you are angry. You are probably sitting next to a young woman named Clara. You probably think she has done something wrong. On the screen, Arthur looked down at his hands. For a long time, I was a very lonely man. I have a daughter, but I feel like I lost her years ago. To her career, to her own life, to her own interests. I would wait by the phone, hoping for a call that wasn't about money. I would hope for a visit that wasn't just a quick stop on the way to the airport. Isabelle, in her chair, stared at the screen, her face pale. Arthur looked back up, his eyes seeming to stare right through the screen. Isabelle? I needed a daughter. I needed family. And in the last 2 years of my life, I found one. But it wasn't you. He then smiled warmly. Clara came into my life like a sunrise after a long night. She didn't see me as a bank account. She saw me. The real me. We shared stories. We played chess. She read to me when my eyes grew tired. She held my hand when I was in pain. She did all the things that a daughter should have done. That is why, Arthur said, his voice becoming strong and clear. "I am leaving my entire fortune, everything I own, to Clara." Isabelle let out a sharp gasp. "But," Arthur continued, "it comes with one very important condition. This money is not for her to buy fancy cars or big houses. I know she would never do that anyway." He leaned forward slightly. "Clara, my dear, I am leaving you this money to build something. I want you to build the Gable House, a beautiful, warm, and comfortable hospice facility for people who have no one. A place where they can spend their final days with dignity, surrounded by the same kindness you showed me. A place where no one ever has to feel alone." He smiled one last time. "You showed me what true compassion looks like. Now please, use this to show the world. That is my final wish, my true legacy." The screen went black. The office was completely silent. You could hear a pin drop. Clara was openly crying now, silent tears of shock and gratitude streaming down her face. Isabelle just sat there frozen. The arrogance was gone. The anger was gone. All that was left was a woman, staring at a blank screen, who had just been forced to see the truth of the daughter she had been. Without another word, she stood up. She didn't look at Clara. She didn't look at Mr. Harrison. She simply walked out of the room, the click of her heels now sounding quiet and defeated. Clara looked at Mr. Harrison through her tears. I don't know what to say." The old lawyer smiled a genuine, warm smile. "You don't have to say anything, my dear. You just have to build his legacy, and I will be here to help you every step of the way." Clara nodded, a sense of purpose washing over her grief. It wasn't about the money. It was about a promise to a friend, to honor his memory by filling the world with a little more of the kindness he had so desperately craved. So that was the story of Clara and the incredible legacy of Arthur Gable. It's a powerful reminder that our actions, big or small, define who we are. We have a question for you. What do you think is more important? The family you are born into, or the family you find along the way? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story resonated with you, please hit the subscribe button. It's completely free for you, but it helps our channel a lot and ensures you won't miss our next story. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day.